Coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. What is going on, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on the Twitter and Instagram. That guy is not Doug McCain. That is... Are we calling you legendary yet? That is the perfectly adequate Noah Camrus. He's one of our fine asterisk writers here on our network. You can follow him at Noah Camrus. It is his first and last name, right?
It's all it is. There's no LA on that one.
Do people follow you on Instagram? Do you want that?
No, just
okay.
Twitter.
Just on Twitter. He's one of the best follows. Of like the third tier down follows. High quality guy. Doug is out. Doug has the he has the COVID right now. So send him thoughts, send him prayers, send him some super chats while you're at it. Cody's here as well. DJ Cody in the house. Apparently the box moved. Did you do that? I didn't do that. I think it works.
I didn't do that. Yeah. It's cool though.
What's up, guys? It is what it is. But
K-Mac here.
Welcome to the show, guys. We're talking baseball. We're doing that thing. Before we get into the show, we got to remind you this is a podcast. So if you want us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Pandora, everywhere your podcasts are available for free, we are there. Go download, go leave a review, go rate us. Do subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. Hit the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. It really helps out the channel, gets them algorithms feeling all boosty. But drop an F in the chat for Doug. We almost had Doug live with the magic of the internet and remote and all that, but there were some technical issues we couldn't resolve as we've been changing a bunch of stuff around the studio and the office. So he should be hopefully back in next week, provided he survives. But let's go ahead and get into a little bit of what is on today's show. We got to talk about all the latest Dodgers news and rumors and updates, the latest on the hot stove, which is fun this time of year. Xander Bogaerts linked to the Dodgers. That one's getting some people's juices flowing, I guess we'll say. Yes, Justin Verlander and the Dodgers talking today. We got to talk a little bit bullpen situation because Dodgers were also linked to a former all-star closer type person. So let's just dive right into it. Well, first let's get into some of the comments here. If you find anything, and Cody, if you even find anything too, you let us know. People asking, people sending love to Doug.
A lot of stuff for Doug, which we're all sorry Doug can't be here. I'm going to try my best to fill in, but it's impossible to fill those shoes.
You need to bring it up about seven more octaves.
A lot louder.
The DBs need to go strong.
R.I.P. Doug.
Rip Doug. Dave Luna says, I will donate my lungs for Doug. Hashtag justice for D-Mac. Adam threw that F in the chat. Craig says, D-Mac, wear your mask. D-Mac is also moving locations because there were just too many fans showing up at a Santa Monica estate. So I think he's moving to Tony Stark's old house in Malibu, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, big time. He's big time guy up there.
Doug can confirm he is moving down to Orange County next to Freddie Freeman. Can confirm. Actually, he's moving to the same house as Will Smith. So we'll get our first sighting of Doug and Will Smith together.
So that's never happened.
We've been waiting.
A lot of people say they're the same person. Matt says D-Mac probably forgot to wear a mask. He was also around a lot because he was hunting for a new house, and unfortunately, you end up in a lot of interactive situations with people you don't want to be around. So things happen. Jamie Lannister sends us a Dodger-related question. We appreciate that. Are you concerned about the pitching regression due to the restricted shift next year? Dodgers are one of the notorious shifty A teams. They definitely rely on that shift. How much do you think that's going to play into what this team does, what the pitching staff look like? Can they lead the league in ERA again?
I mean, the Dodgers were almost ahead of the curve on the shift and with the analytics and pitching. So knowing them, they'll be ahead of the curve again without it, and they'll probably have the perfect analytics to somehow be in the right position, even though they can't shift. So I'm not too worried. I feel like they always know what they're doing, and I'm happy about no shift. I think it'll help the batters more than it'll hurt the pitcher. So
I'm ready to be proven wrong. I don't think the shift ban or whatever restrictions are going to make as big of a difference as everybody really wants. That's just my 2 cents. We'll find out. I mean, it's definitely going to be a lot because you're not going to see Manny Machado playing short right field anymore and dumb shit like that. But anyway, also, guys, drop in the comments. Thank you. Drop into the comments. Let us know you're representing Dodgers Nation tonight. Drop them cities. Drop them area codes. Let us know your home address. Don't do that. Please don't do that. We don't want that. RL the Collector on Twitch some of our fine Twitch family. Do you think Bellinger is going to sign with the Astros? On the hot seat, yes or no?
No, not the
I agree.
Astros. He's not going to Houston.
You know, he's most recently been linked to them Giants.
That would be an ugly one too for Dodger fans. I don't know which would be worse, Astros or Giants.
Yeah, I was the guy who said Giants make a whole lot of sense,
You
and I
did.
said that back in like August.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure. I think he's going to be smarter than San Francisco because it doesn't play up to his game. You really got to hammer the ball out there to get the ball into McCovey Cove. They need to him and Bellinger and Scott Boras need to get the home run, the pop back.
Yes.
So unless he could play Pepper off that wall in right field or something like that, it's just not a good play.
Yeah,
if he ends up there, they're not.
He should go to Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
That'll be the place with the short porch for him to
Go
get those
Yankees.
numbers up.
Yankees.
Shout out Derek Jeter.
Carl says Dodger Nation without D-Mac is like McDonald's without the Big Mac. That is right. I am a double quarter pounder with cheese. If for the intellectual people, and this guy right here is
Filet
the
of fish.
McRib.
I was thinking filet of fish.
Is that messed up? I called you the McRib. I feel kind of bad
you know,
about that
it's-
right now. Filet of fish. We'll
Yeah,
give him
thank you.
that.
I appreciate
You're
that.
very popular amongst the. I'm just gonna walk away. I'm gonna walk away from all of it. I had a lot of things. I had a lot of things in there. Craig's checking in from the 310. We have a 49er shirt
Let's
mentioned.
go. We knew they were coming. We knew they
Mr.
were
Rasa
coming.
Jr. 23 wearing a throwback 49er shirt is a no-no. Look,
Yeah.
he's a real Dodger fan because a lot of Dodger fans are either a Raider fan or you're a Niner fan. That's just kind of how it goes.
The Rams weren't here until a few years ago, so you can't be mad at me for being a Niner fan.
yeah, they left. They were gone before you were
They
ever
were gone
born.
before I was born, and they came back after. so.
Literally. Anthony Keene said D-Mac looking mad different.
It's true.
Francisco checking in. San Diego Dodgers Nation checking in down there in Dodger Stadium South. 619 Francisco is checking in. Let's see what else we got. I'm assuming it's Litsubishi. Litsubishi. Oh, it's Litsubishi. I get it. That's a good name. I like that. We need more heart on the team. This is true. We've talked about that ad nauseum before even the failure in the playoffs. Nando 390 talking about Justin Verlander. We got to get on the Verlander talk. Matt asking if they could should bring back AJ Pollock. I don't think so. I don't think that move makes much sense. I think you really need to. The whole point of what they were trying to do in saving money. There's two things they're trying to do this offseason or hoping to do. If they can't get the big names, they want to save money and they want to look at some of their younger core in the next season. So it doesn't make sense for AJ Pollock to be re-signed by the Los Angeles Dodgers. What are they going to do? They're going to just trade him again?
Just sign him just to get another bad closer.
Real bad closer. Let's see. We got Jen checking in from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Anthony Keene saying I won him over on the Correa talk. What are our chances at him? I don't know. What are you feeling on Correa?
I don't know. I have a weird hunch about Correa. I've been feeling good about Correa for a while. Good, maybe not the right word, because I know a lot of Dodger fans are not excited about him. But
you're wearing a Niners shirt.
I know. I want Correa.
want Correa.
I'm begging.
What's going on over there? What do you think about that, Cody? How do you think the fan base is taking that?
Hey, man. No, it'll be fine. No, you're good. Everybody. It's funny though, because somebody just said, was Doug traded for a person to be named later? Yes, Doug was traded for Noah.
I was named later.
Yeah,
sorry,
not Syndergaard. Not Syndergaard.
Hey,
Not Noah Syndergaard.
We'll get to him.
Big time Syndergaard guy right
We'll get
here.
to Noah Syndergaard.
I don't know. I mean, at this point in the offseason, it feels like there haven't been a lot of links and a lot of rumors with Correa. You hear a lot about the Twins. I don't know if there are other teams that are really highly in on him.
I think maybe the Cubs were one.
Yeah, but the Cubs, but he's going to want to go somewhere where there's a chance at winning, so might as well. The reports say that the Twins have like 3 or 4 different contract lengths available to Correa if he wants to return. They probably have a better chance of getting to the postseason this year and next year.
Yeah.
Than Cubs over the next 4 years or something like that, because they are very bad. Dodgers have the clear need at shortstop because they're okay. It feels like they're okay going with Gavin Lux at short to start the season, but it doesn't necessarily mean that is option number one.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Lux on opening day.
No, I feel
just
like
don't
right
see
now, Correa slightly better than 50-50 chance of signing. We're going to find out a whole lot more next week. The winter meetings are happening. There should be a whole bunch of shit happening. Thank you.
There we go.
Happening with Scott Boras and company down there running the show at the winter meetings. But let's get into some of the other notes right here. I guess we could call it the only real-ish Dodgers news, even though it's, as of this moment, not officially official. But Brant Brown is out in L.A. If you guys don't know who that is, he's one of the many hitting coaches the Dodgers employ. He was kind of, in a way, he's kind of been the go-to Bellinger guru for the last few years. Clearly didn't work out, but reports are saying that he's been hired by the Miami Marlins. So
Bellinger to the Marlins, I guess.
hey, that wouldn't be a bad. He hit his first career cycle there.
Yeah,
in Miami.
Can hit again there. Maybe.
I don't know if we don't know if they're just going to move up Aaron Bates into that second hitting coach role. If they're going to fill really the void there. We know Rob Van Scoyoc is going to remain around. So I know some fans were very excited to see a hitting coach is gone. Oh, that's going to make all the difference. But
because the hitting coaches were the reason we couldn't hit in the postseason. Of course,
the Dodgers over the years have lost a lot of a lot of personnel on field. They lost Chris Woodward. They were fine. George Lombard. They were fine. Rick effing Honeycutt. They were fine. We're gonna be fine. The royal we. We're going to be fine without Brant Brown. Nice guy, friend of the show, been on the podcast a couple of times, but he gone, and that is what it is.
Best of luck to him.
Best of luck to you in Miami. Enjoy the food and the honeys, as they say, Mr. Brown, happily married man. Mr. Rossa Jr. points out Aaron Bates' middle name is Master.
That's interesting.
Do you get it, Cody?
Do
you get it?
Oh, there we go. We got there.
That's
there
what
it is.
in. Oh God.
Sorry guys, didn't realize.
Yep. I got Jam says assistant coaches come and go, very much so. They don't mean anything, but a lot of fans, of course, will be very thrilled to know Dave Roberts remains.
Woo-hoo.
I haven't looked. I haven't seen. Have we had a fire Dave Roberts?
We haven't had one yet.
It took us a while.
It's a pain. I mean, it's not even a good Monday Night Football matchup. What are you
Yeah,
people
really.
doing?
Dun, 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 dun.
Share, retweet,
sorry, copyright.
tell your grandma. Yeah, now we're gonna get killed by who runs the league there again? who runs the NFL these days?
Roger.
Good old Roger Goodell.
Let's get into the other stuff, the good stuff. Today, the rumors, the reports are Justin Verlander and Camp and company are meeting up with the Dodgers to have discussions about a contract.
On Zoom, I heard.
Is it on Zoom?
That's what was reported.
Well, COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear COVID's a thing these days. Doug made them have to do that. Thoughts? Needle mover? Is this a thing? Is this worth much of anything?
I mean, I definitely think it's a big rumor. I definitely think there's something to put in there, and the idea of Verlander potentially becoming a Dodger, the fit is clearly there. I mean, he just won the Cy Young Award. He had a 1.75 ERA, a .83 WHIP. Clearly, this guy has it, but at the same time, he's turning 40 years old before next season, which means if it's more than a 1-year deal, if it's, a 3-year deal he's potentially looking for, like Max Scherzer, he's going to be 42 years old in the third year, making $40 million. So that's a bit concerning to me. The other thing, though, is he doesn't have the qualifying offer attached to him.
That is big.
DeGrom does. Carlos Rodon does. So if the Dodgers sign Justin Verlander, they won't be losing a draft pick for it. So there's a lot of things, and he's a righty, and there's a lot of lefties right now with, Urias, Kershaw. So you never know.
Yeah.
It definitely is more than just a rumor. I mean, they're meeting with him. But at the same time, I personally don't think it's the greatest fit, him being 40 years old.
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to get him on 2 years, I feel comfortable, much more comfortable giving away not my money to a 40-year-old man for 2 years instead of 3. I think that Scherzer contract is going to come back and bite the Mets in the ass.
I think it already is.
We've seen these kind of short-term, high-dollar deals. I mean, it's sort of a mixed bag, I guess we can kind of look at. You are getting pedigree, though. You are definitely getting pedigree when you get somebody of the ilk of a 3-time Cy Young Award winner, of a 1.2-time World Series champion. It does bring something. It brings some veteran leadership to the team, to the rotation, to a rotation, to a pitching staff that could see a lot of very young dudes make their way in and out, on and off the roster with Pepio and well, I guess I keep going. Pepio, Grove, of course, Bobby Miller. If Gavin Stone gets the call up this year, you want them to also learn from somebody who throws the same way they do with their right arm. I mean, you're still going to go to Clayton Kershaw. You're going to feel good about talking to Clayton Kershaw, but you don't have Walker Buehler, and that's a guy you would hope they would learn from as well. He's going to be around, but if he's not in the rotation, they don't see his day-to-day. So I like the idea of Verlander, but there are stipulations. I do also hate the idea of Verlander because of the annoyance that will come from Astros fans.
And his brother.
You know what, Ben, he tries his best. I'm just saying. Nice kid. He's a very nice boy, I think. He was nice to Cody one time. Hey, that's what's important.
Ben Verlander, friend of my show.
It sounds a little problematic when you say it that way. What's going on here? You're fraternizing with the wrong people. Anyways.
But yeah, no, I do agree. It'd definitely be some interesting stuff with the Astros fans. I mean, same thing with Correa, but I mean, there's all those issues. But I don't know, I mean, let us know in the comments. Do you want to see Justin Verlander in Dodger blue next year? Would you rather them stay away from him and maybe go with somebody else? There are a lot of starting pitcher options. But I do agree with the mentoring the young guys. And I mean, imagine being able to say you're 20-something years old in your young 20s and you learn from Justin Verlander and Clayton Kershaw. Those are two of the best pitchers of this generation.
That's a hell of a classroom right there.
Yeah, it would definitely be of help to our younger guys to have him there. But at the same time, again, I think if it's a 1-2, 1+1 deal, something like that, great move. 3 years, I think you're pushing it because that is an old man.
Another note, not a qualifying offer guy. Another important thing, though, not a Scott Boras guy.
Yeah,
that plays up massively with Andrew Friedman and company and getting deals done because notoriously they do not work with Scott Boras. Didn't an article just come out today on The Athletic or LA Times? Or
it was Athletic.
One of them.
Dodgers don't usually sign Scott Boras. Clients doesn't usually work
I think,
out.
3 all together? I mean, they'll draft them. They'll draft them 100%.
They love them. They'll draft them. They'll groom them. They'll turn them into stars. But they don't usually re-sign them. I think the last one was Hyunjin Ryu was the last Boras client.
And he was injured at the time.
Yeah.
So, he was still
he
free
signed,
agent.
and then the qualifying offer he got, but that was the last Boras client to sign. So definitely something to keep an eye on with him not being one.
Getting some of the comments here. The Julian Lopez says, at 40 years old, is Scherzer dead arm worth the risk? I'm assuming Verlander. You know, Verlander notably his velo was down a little bit in the postseason. It looks like eventually got a win. They did get a World Series, but it was down all the way to 96 miles an hour from what I remember seeing off the back of my head. I.E. Doyer says Verlander is still on the Astros payroll, sent to LA to tank. Oof.
All right. Well, that would be a conspiracy for sure.
Yeah, we'll run with that. That's hey, insider sources, send it to the team. We found out here live first.
Got another comment here from David Carrillo. He said, what about Sean Manaea coming to LA? I don't know if you saw him play at all in 2022, but I would personally say, I mean, I do understand the whole reclamation project thing. The Dodgers do that very well, but the Dodgers hit Manaea pretty well. And it definitely would be a risk to try to bring him back and revitalize
what you got
career.
He'd be good as the pitcher for BP.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Or he could pitch for Seager at the home run derby.
So
he can actually hit.
So he can actually get
Jeff
a few
Seager's
hits
really
there.
slow.
Yeah.
Hey, all love to Jeff, but
Daddy Seager. Daddy Siegs, what up? What I was going to say, do you feel, the last little bit of Verlander talk, and then we'll get into more of the comments, do you think a Verlander deal happens at the winter meetings?
I'm going to say no. I think it's going to take a little bit longer. I think he has no reason to rush into a deal. I think he's going to get his money no matter what, and I think he's kind of going to wait it out. But also, I mean, you never know. I mean, they could come right now for all I know. But
not before. I do think a deal happens. Not saying with LA. I do think a Verlander contract happens at the winter meeting. So
that would be in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen a lot of crazy shit happen in recent
There it is.
recent winter meetings when they have been held. You know, as 19 was the last real one, and that was massive. What do you got? Oh,
yeah.
You're making weird hand gestures. I thought you were having a seizure. Producer Cody having a seizure. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, that's what the Garrett Cole deal happened. The Steven Strasburg deal happened. Things happen. Things go down. The ish goes down in the winter meetings, and it's happening in San Diego. So I'm sure the Padres sign anybody, they will be partying on the streets. The other link that happened over the weekend, because the rumor mill did not take the holiday off. They're not taking Thanksgiving off. Xander Bogaerts officially linked to the Dodgers in some way, shape, or form for the first time. I forget who it was. It was like kind of a random Boston radio, like he was a Spanish-speaking Boston radio analyst or something like that. He has a good enough following. Yeah, he has the sources. He would be the guy to know about Xander Bogaerts, but he did mention Bogaerts in with the teams. The Dodgers in with the teams that are in on the Bogaerts. I guess hot stove. They're in the pot. We'll go with because it's a stove, and I'm gonna keep the analogies together here. I've seen, I forget who it was. Somebody on Twitter posted about. The numbers have been solid with Bogaerts, but the defense is not quite there.
Yeah.
So you kind of do worry about that. How do you feel about Bogaerts? Just as a player, before we get into like the realm of reality of a move like this happening, thoughts about Xander Bogaerts, Los Angeles Dodger?
I mean, as a player, he's about as solid a shortstop as you could have. I mean, he's always been consistent. He hits at the top of the lineup. He's a career 292 hitter. Last year, he hit 307. He's made 4 All-Star teams, 5 Silver Sluggers. So, I mean, he has the resume. 2 World Series champions, 2013 and 2018, one against the Dodgers, of course. Sorry, Dodger fans. But, I mean, he is as consistent as a shortstop can be. And there were some defense, whatever, but he was a finalist for the Gold Glove this year.
Yeah,
so
doesn't mean very much.
It doesn't mean a lot. But, he's getting some recognition for it. So, overall, he is a pretty complete player. He's going to be 30 years old at the start of next season, which is actually the oldest of the top 4. Trey's going to be 29, Correa 28, Swanson will be 29, but by 1 year. So he is definitely as good as the other 3, in my opinion, and I think he's going to get similar deals to all of them. And I think he'd be a really nice fit, maybe hitting in that one spot before Mookie or hitting right after Mookie in 2 or 3. I mean, I think it's going to be a solid fit wherever he goes because he's a great hitter.
Notably, those two still remain pretty close. They sort of came up together
from the Sox.
and to watch the Red Sox lose another homegrown star player would be pretty damn funny.
Especially to the Dodgers.
Where is it at? George Santander headed to third in a year or so. Can't play shortstop with no shift anymore. That's why Boston is letting him loose. Hey, even if that happens, the Dodgers have
we need a third base.
They have a gaping hole at third base. Because I don't feel very confident about Max Muncy there long term. I did not feel very confident about him playing there as much as he did in 2022. And as of right now, he is the third baseman heading into 23. So that's a little frightening there. And to have him and Lux, you hope to find a way to improve one of those spots some way, shape, or form. So if it is Lux moving over, you find a way to get a third baseman somehow, maybe in a trade, and then Muncy probably moves to second. You don't really know how that looks, but there's optionality, which the front office loves.
Yeah, and if Bogaerts is going to move to third in 2024, 2025, the Dodgers have Jacob Amaya coming up as a shortstop prospect anyway, so he could be the shortstop, and Bogaerts can go play third.
Glove first, can't hit very much, and every time I bring up the no third baseman thing, I'm noticing, especially in the comments after the fact, people love giving me crap about not acknowledging Miguel Vargas as a third baseman. The team does not acknowledge Miguel Vargas as a third baseman. Did he play? He played there like 3 games with the big league club last year. He's not. He has no glove. So I have no love. No, I mean, I love the kid. I'd be interested to see what they could do. Yeah, I'm just saying words here. That was my Doug attempt, but I had nowhere really to go with it because I was just saying words and filling air.
No glove, no love. It's not that bad.
No glove, no love.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
Just saying. Thank you. Reaction cam with Cody. They even tried to stash him in left field. I personally think we see him. We see Miggy Vargas in left a lot more in 2023 than we see him on the infield.
Yeah, this is even better for you. He played 1 inning at third base in 2022.
That's what
he played a single inning. He played a lot of first, and he played in the outfield and left, and in left.
Yeah, I'm also pretty concerned how much they played him at first because we have a guy.
Yeah, it's almost like they don't think that Freddie Freeman is is there. He played a little too much first.
Yeah.
If you want to teach him a position, go teach him second or short or third or first is not one that the Dodgers need right now.
Yeah. He's not a defender is what we'll say.
Yeah.
And the team needs some defensive help, especially with that shift going away.
Yes.
I want to get back into the Verlander talk a little bit because we sort of alluded to, or you sort of alluded to, like it's already kind of a lefty heavy. Well, it was a lefty heavy rotation.
A little better now.
Things have kind of changed with the loss of Anderson. Of course, Andrew Heaney is still a free agent. All of the younger dudes are for the most part right-handed. But you still need innings. The biggest thing is that this team is gonna need. It's less about, to me, it feels less about like needing that super dominant guy because I don't think you necessarily need like an ace to go into the postseason with. You just need somebody who's on a good run. I mean, the Mets had 2 aces and look what happened to them with DeGrom and Scherzer. It did not work out. So you need innings. You need innings, guys. And we had for the Thanksgiving on our DodgersNation.com website. Check it out. Subscribe. Hit the newsletter. Whatever we want to say there. Everybody kind of gave their what we consider to be our Black Friday deals. I didn't know you switched cameras. Oh my God. We kind of gave our Black Friday deals. Players we'd want to see who you could probably get on a sort of on a budget. I'm surprised I didn't get enough crap about it. I said a kid by the name of Zach Eflin, former Dodger, but somebody that's really just gives you the potential for some innings.
Yeah.
I really like that idea. Somebody can give you 130, 140 quality enough innings, build up his stock again, on a 1-year deal. I know you're big on the Syndergaard, so I wanted to find a way. I'm creating a way to let you just let it eat on Noah Syndergaard.
Well, if you didn't give me
Thor.
away, I would have found a way anyway. I've already written 2 articles about it.
Check him out.
Check them out on DodgersNation.com, especially that Black Friday one. But yeah, my big guy this offseason has been Noah Syndergaard. I mean, first of all, look at what Tyler Anderson did.
Noah's stick together,
first of all. But I think look at what Tyler Anderson did. He was a career 4.62 ERA. Comes to the Dodgers, Mark Prior School of Pitching. He's an all-star. He now gets a 3-year, $39 million deal, revitalizes his career. Noah Syndergaard has been really good in his career. In 2016, he was an all-star. He finished top 10 in Cy Young voting. He finished 19th in MVP voting. He had a really dominant 2016, high velocity, really dominant stuff, good movement for that World Series appearance New York Mets squad. And then he had Tommy John surgery, had some issues, but he's now a few years removed from that. That was in 2020. And if there was ever a team or a coach that could really bring that Cy Young caliber stuff back, you'd have to think it was Mark Prior and the Dodgers. And he's a really strong righty. He throws hard. If he's healthy, he can throw a lot of innings. And when he's at his best, he strikes out a lot of batters, which is what you want to see from an innings eater potentially. Well, maybe not actually, because Tyler Anderson didn't do that and he was great at that. But it's definitely what you want to see as someone in the postseason at least. To have as your third starter potentially. So I don't know. I just think that if they can get him on a cheaper deal, I don't think he'll be as cheap as, like Zach Eflin or some of the other guys, but it still won't be, it's not going to be DeGrom and Verlander money by any means. So you get him on a somewhat cheaper deal. You put him through the school of pitching in Mark Prior. You let him try to get back to some of his dominant stuff. And the Dodgers might have a really good 3 or 4 starter who used to be, at one point he was looking like he was going to be one of the best pitchers in baseball. Yeah, I mean,
when you look back at that rotation the Mets had in the mid 2010s.
Yeah.
It was
Matt
pretty
Harvey.
insane with him. Still a good Harvey, and of course a young up and coming buck by the name of Jake DeGrom. He was pretty decent, but Thor was kind of the guy. He was the guy of that rotation. I guess it was kind of Harvey then him, but
he was scary. He was like a
and he
really
had a
good pitcher.
pretty decent first half of last year before being traded,
Yeah.
of course, with your Angels.
Go Angels.
Check it out, HaloToday.com. I would think, like, if I'm Noah Syndergaard and I see what the Dodgers do to pitchers like him that have kind of lost their way, I go to that effing team.
Yeah.
And I'm like, please fix me. I'm going to be here for a year, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a 1-year deal. It's probably going to be in the 10 million range. I mean,
it feels like the Mike Clevenger deal is a good comp.
Yeah,
Clevenger
12.
off the market, $12 million deal with the White Sox. So
shout out Doug. He had a really good tweet. He said it's a bummer for LA that Clevenger is gone because the Dodgers love playing against him.
Yeah, one of their favorite BP pitchers down in San Diego.
But yeah, I mean, Syndergaard's only 30 years old still. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's not like he's too old.
He's got a lot of upside. He's still got a lot of future, and he fits that mold. Even last year, kind of an odd year. I think he had some injury woes here and there. Did not pitch as well after the trade to Philly, but he's still 134 innings across 2022. That is exactly what this team needs.
Yeah.
While you really only have Julio, who's probably going to be your 180, 190, 200 inning guy. Kershaw, whenever that deal is finally officially announced, maybe going to be 140 if he can stay healthy long enough.
He's going to miss at least a month and a half.
Maybe. Yeah, exactly. You can pretty much bank that in there. Gonsolin, we saw flame out. Dustin May has barely pitched, really his last full year was 2019 because 20 truncated or COVID year. Thanks, Doug. And then 21 injured, now 22 coming back. And then all the kids, Pepio's never thrown that many innings. Bobby Miller still very, very green, all these other guys. So you need to find a way to just fill some innings. And that's what I think both you and I in that Black Friday article were kind of looking at that is sort of reclamation projects, but also guys that are just going to provide innings to space out the kids and just let them figure it out. Let them get through the thing.
I mean, this is the reason that the Tyler Anderson loss does feel a little bigger. I mean, obviously, I don't blame the Dodgers for not wanting to give him a 3-year deal, but at the same time, he was the innings leader last year at 178.2. He threw more innings than anyone on the Dodgers, barely to Julio Urias, but he still was the leader. So that's a lot of innings that needs to be replaced. And like you said, Dustin May, who knows what he's going to look like. Tony Gonsolin, the Dodgers can't throw him out there for a lot of innings because we saw what happens when they did. So it's really Julio Urias and then a bunch of guys who aren't going to go full seasons. So unless Dustin May really comes back, who, whatever, to the pitcher he's supposed to be. But there's definitely a huge hole in that starting rotation. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers sign multiple starters or maybe trade for one. I know Doug has been on that Corbin Burns train, and it's a good train to be on. But I definitely see
he was first on it.
He was first, and now everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
But I definitely see them making more than one starting pitcher move because they have a hole right now that really needs to be filled, and they need innings out of people right now. So,
sir, this is a family show. Yeah, I mean, it's really, and I think a lot of the pundits, the insiders, all that. I know a friend of the show, Juan Toribio, over on MLB.com, Dodgers.com. He was talking about the biggest needs of the team, and even Bill Plunkett, I think he went on with Mad Dog the other day. They're talking about the biggest needs for the team. You got pitching, you kind of got shortstop, but even it's shortstop, you kind of have that figured out. But if you go into the season without just a pocket 200 innings from a few dudes, you're going to be in a world of hurt by the time you get to game 162 and beyond. It's just it's not a good look. We saw that happen in 21 when everybody got exploded and dead, respectfully. And then in 2022, just bad injuries at the wrong time, timing.
Right now, I would say the Dodgers' biggest need is if they only were to sign one player this offseason, I would say it has to be a starting pitcher because they can make it work in the infield. They can make it work at shortstop. Right now, I don't think they can make it work for starting pitching for a full 162-game season. But let us know in the comments anyone that you think starting pitchers potentially you guys are interested in them signing, maybe Syndergaard, maybe other guys, Eflin, or guys we haven't talked about. because they do need a starting pitcher. So who are some guys that you guys are looking out for?
George in the comments, George over on YouTube, he's on the TA train with you, thinks it was probably the biggest loss of the offseason to not make that effort to go after Tyler Anderson. I mean, comes down to it, it's kind of chump change in a way, because if you were offering 19, almost 20 million for a year, to have it come down to what, 13?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely the years that was the issue for the Dodgers, which I don't blame them, because Tyler Anderson had a great year, but also, do you want to bank on him having another 3 great years? It's a risk. I
mean, even at that point, you find a way to trade him or something like that. You could move something. You needed the innings this year, in my humble opinion. Yeah. Richard's in the stream. He says, "What's up, guys? Go Blue. Thanks for hanging out with us." Jamie says, "Thor is a shell of his old self, but he has never been a Dodger." That
unshells them.
There it is. Nando390 saying Gavin Lux is overhyped. I don't remember. Were we talking about Gavin Lux?
No, a lot of people in the comments were, I don't think he's overhyped. I think he's perfectly hyped.
He didn't live up to the expectations immediately.
He was overhyped a few years ago.
Yeah,
but he was solid,
because the Dodgers had the string of Peterson hit, Seager hit, Bellinger hit when he came up. The small hiccup with Bueller before he hit when he became a full-time starter, and then in 19,
and then Lux
stumbled over
didn't
himself.
hit immediately.
They also were very good for a long time, where you don't get these, you don't pick in the top 50 players or 10 or 15 players or whatever that is.
They didn't really need Lux to come in and hit like the other guys did at all, so he was kind of slowly brought up. And I think, this year, he was one of the best hitters for the first few months of the year for the Dodgers. He was hitting like in the 7, 8, 9 spot, and he was probably the most consistent Dodger for a while. He had some injury issues at the end of the year, didn't come back fully healthy. Here's a good question I'll ask you from Lee Klingensmith. He said 2 questions. 1, any validity to the Haniger rumor? So that's 1. And then 2, how do you feel about another lefty in Carlos Rodon?
Haniger, there's some validity to it. I think the Dodgers are doing the service to themselves of talking to everybody and anybody that'll listen.
As they should.
Again, that just kind of goes back into the idea, into the concept that you let Bellinger go because of money and because you want to check out some of these younger dudes on the field. You want to see if Miguel Vargas could maybe play some left field, if James Outman can produce at a major or as a major league hitter. We've heard about Andy Pages for years. There's another guy, Jose Ramos, who's really been tearing it up.
Michael Busch.
Michael Busch. You find a spot for him. He's played a lot of second base. Not necessarily a second baseman. He's there. Not necessarily a second baseman. They got some sticks. They don't necessarily have defense, and you find a way to stash them in left field, I guess we can say. So part 2 was Rodon. I just don't see it. Some of the insiders and rumor mills and all that, they're trying to link LA to the Rodon and all that. There's a qualifying offer attached. He has a significant enough injury history. I think if they don't go with a DeGrom, with a Verlander, with some of the upper guys, and they don't get our 2023 version of whatever Tyler Anderson's going to be, whether that might be a Syndergaard or an Eflin or whatever the hell it is. I think they go a few steps lower. Maybe we see a reunion with my boy Ross Stripling.
Oh yes, shout out Ross.
There's going to be some dudes. There's going to be those like tier 3 guys that are very good pitchers, that are they just show up and do their job. Show up every 5th day, try to get you 4 to 6 innings, and shower, go home,
and then come back 6 days later to do it again. 5 innings, just try to limit the damage.
Yeah, they just need that type of body. I'm making the prediction now. They probably sign maybe somebody during the winter meetings. I don't know who.
We got our prediction.
Bold prediction.
We're gonna write some articles about that.
I feel Dodgers Dodger asshole says.
Here's another one we got. Thank you. Got to get one of DeGrom or Senga. That's Kodai Senga. Maybe talk about him. Need a hard-throwing righty. This was Josh Gidd who said that. Also, Francisco Diaz said, what about Senga? Michael Carrillo said, we need Senga. Do you want to talk Kodai Senga a little bit? I know you're a big Kodai Senga fan.
I mean, we've talked about him the last couple of weeks, especially being Doug. I love him. I think there's just a lot that makes all of the sense, considering the contract you're going to look at is probably a Chris Taylor type contract.
Yeah.
4 and 64. The Dodgers have had incredible success with pitchers coming from Japan. All of it makes sense. I think there's going to be just too many people in on his market. That kind of makes it, the Dodgers don't like they don't like fighting for the girl at the dances. Like, you're going to come here?
Yeah.
All right, now, well, I'm going to leave.
They'd much rather have people come to them than them
yeah.
have to go seek people out.
Yeah. So
there's definitely a big market, and I saw. I don't remember. I think it was John Heyman. I think he was saying that. I don't know.
Hey, it's Heyman.
Heyman, my bad.
Yeah.
I think he
Both
was,
are right.
I think he was saying that San Diego's a big contender because Yu Darvish is Kodai Senga's mentor.
Yeah, that's like his BFF.
And then the Rangers are trying to spend money. The New York teams need some starting pitching. So he has a big market, which could drive up the price, which could, maybe kept the Dodgers out a little bit because we saw last year they like those reclamation deals with Tyler Anderson, Andrew Heaney. We have a question from Girl Cassie 95. Any more updates on Belly? He has 10 plus teams interested in him. Those are the updates.
That's it.
That's literally it.
He's also a candidate to find something at the winter meetings.
Yeah.
We're talking less than 8% chance. That's what I'm going with. Less than 8% chance. He's
more
coming
than 92
back as a Dodger. Just saying.
Yeah, no, he has a lot of options, and they only want a 1-year deal because they want to try to maximize his potential next contract. So that's the update. Trace Gallo season, Bobby Miller going to be the next Bueller. That would be nice. That would be very nice if that could happen. That would be good for the Dodgers if Bobby Miller can be that.
That would be great if he could be that.
It's definitely a big loss for Bueller to not have him next year. That's going to be that's clearly. I mean, if he was here, there would not be a hole in the rotation. So I think we're going to feel the Bueller loss more next year than we did this year, just because of
100%
how bad it's going to feel to have him not all of next year.
Jonathan says, "How about how more? I'm guessing how many more years of not making it back to the World Series before we let Dave Roberts go?" We've talked about that a lot as well. Like I think there is almost nothing Dave Roberts can do to lose his job like immediately. He could walk right into Mark Walter's office and just drop his pants and take a dump in the middle of his office. Thank you.
Nice.
I went with dump.
Yeah, you wouldn't even need it that time.
It's like shit, but it's dump. Thank you. And then just walk out, and he's still managing the next day. Dave is he's done so well at the job he's supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
Just need players to hit. He needs help. That's what he needs. He needs some help, perhaps in the form of a player with some heart, as we discussed earlier.
They could use some heart
in the show.
I want to correct myself. I realize it's ya girl, not ya girl. Thank you, IB Strokin, for pointing that out to me. It's ya girl, not ya girl.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Do better, all right? Yeah, do better, San Francisco fan.
I'm a Dodger fan, I promise.
Get wrecked. What am I looking for here? I think it's about time to move on to, I wanted to talk the other big-ish rumor. Alex Reyes, former all-star closer for the Cards, had some injury issues.
Yep.
And he's now been linked to the Dodgers. It's just that time. It's the little lead up into the winter meetings. We know, and this is all kind of leading into general bullpen talk. We know the Dodgers have said the front office has said they don't have a strong inkling. It doesn't sound like they're going to go out and try to import a closer. So anybody wanting Kenley Jansen back, don't expect that to happen. Anybody wanting Craig Kimbrell back, what the hell's wrong with you? I'll be honest, I don't know enough about Alex Reyes. I mean, he's just another one of those like cookie cutter 100-mile-an-hour throwers that the Cardinals were putting out for like 10 years or something like that. Thoughts on Reyes, and do you think they make a move for some sort of reliever, or do they just go all in-house?
Yeah, I mean, Reyes was an all-star in 2021, didn't play last year. He had 29 saves, 3.24 ERA, so solid numbers, nothing that jumps off the page at all. But he was an all-star. Obviously, he was good. Did have a lot of walks, which is something to keep an eye on. You don't really want that from your closer.
Yeah.
I personally don't see the Dodgers making a move for a closer. They have already kind of said they aren't going to. They have a lot of in-house options. Maybe not the splashy name like Craig Kimbrell, but we saw how it worked last year when they got the splashy closer name. So I think they're going to go in-house for a closer. Their options with Blake Trinan now injured for the year, most likely out for the year, are going to be Daniel Hudson, who's returning hopefully, supposedly before spring training or by spring training.
Yeah, he's already throwing now.
So he's already thrown. So he's coming back from the torn ACL that he suffered in June. So he's going to be a real candidate for the closer. If not him, I think Yency Almonte could honestly make a case to be the closer.
You sound like Mark McGwire here.
Yeah, I do. Mark McGwire did say that, but I mean, he was really solid for the Dodgers last year. He was honestly one of the better pitchers. He struggled with some injuries, which kept him out for a lot of the second half, but he was really good. Evan Phillips is going to be an option. I don't know if he's going to become the closer because, again, they like him. So they say in that we can use him wherever we want role until they don't use him when they need him in the sixth inning. And then Brusdar Graterol is still always going to be an option for closer. He kind of felt like the guy who was supposed to be the next Kenley Jansen, and it just hasn't really panned out. But if he can have a good offseason and maybe just work on getting a little better, I mean, there is a chance he can still become the closer. I mean, there's time for that. My prediction is going to be Daniel Hudson, but I'd love to hear your thoughts about this.
Yeah, I'm all in on Hudson. He's a guy who's done it in the past. He's won a World Series. He's got the final out of a World Series. I kind of had one of those moments last night when I was kind of brainstorming, half asleep, brainstorming some ideas to talk about today, and I was like, oh, yeah, Daniel Hudson's a guy who's coming back.
Yeah, and he's good.
And he was really good. I mean, it was a pretty big loss when he went down with that torn ACL, but he even picked up 5 saves. As I pull up the stats here, he picked up 5 saves with the team last year before going down with that injury. He's saved off and on, or he's kind of closed off and on, but he's just somebody who has the ice water in his veins. The moment doesn't get to him, and that's really what you want. It's not necessarily you're saying, hey, this guy is only pitching in the ninth, but I would say in Dave Roberts' talk and in Doc speak, he's going to get the lion's share of the opportunities.
That's really good
in that ninth inning. Yeah. So you're going to hear that. If there isn't an Alex Reyes type, if there isn't some sort of cheap deal with Kenley, and I want to talk about just that as a pie in the sky thing, if there isn't somebody being imported, I think that's where they go. I feel like that's where they go, and that's a smart play, and you leave everybody else. Trinan's going to be a non-factor even when he comes back.
Yeah.
That's a major operation he had on his shoulder, and you have to not only heal up, but then the rehab, and then the build back up to that velo, that movement, that his whole pitching profile. I just don't see it happening. Chances are relative. I mean, they're not zero. We'll say that Trinan's career is done. I'm not saying that. I don't think I worded that right, but. There's no guarantee that Trinan's career is not done. That's a long way around.
That's a lot of negatives.
That's a lot of negatives. So that's what we're talking about here, baby. We number 2. If, let's say, Kenley Jansen, you guys might remember him. If Kenley's open to like an $8 million deal to come back home, would you go for it? As Dodger fan and as pseudo Andrew Friedman.
Well, first I want to say if you guys want to give some of your thoughts on this, we'd love to hear them on potentially a Kenley Jansen reunion. I would have to say no. I don't think there's any need to bring back Kenley as a closer. I think we had enough of the Kenley Jansen experience as Dodger fans over the last however many years before last year, of course. I think that was a perfect time to end the relationship between Kenley and the Dodgers. It was nice to see him succeed. There's no hard feelings towards Kenley Jansen. I mean, it was nice that he had a few big saves for the Braves against the Mets at the end of the year and helped propel them to the playoffs or the division. I don't think the Dodgers should bring Kenley. I just don't think there's any need. I think fans are going to start hating him a lot more than they like him if he comes back just with the stress again. And I also don't see him getting a cheaper deal. I think he's still going to get more than $10 million. So I just don't think that's where the Dodgers should spend their money, especially because they have other holes. And I think Daniel Hudson is a really strong candidate to be a lion's share closer, whatever you want to call it. So if it happened to be $8 million or really cheap, okay, yeah, I mean, throw the money at him. But I don't see him getting a cheap deal and I just don't think there's a need to bring him back. I think the tenure ended at a nice time. I think it was a good time to say goodbye to Kenley.
Well said. And it for the most part, the comments, great way to lead in the folks to play the game here. Most part, people are like, yeah, you know, saying exactly what you're saying, echoing your sentiment. Like it was nice, it was fun. We've moved on at the right time. Sarah Morris says, no, Jansen. Maybe she's a little stronger, a little firmer in her not wanting him back. Francisco says, hell nah to the nah.
Okay.
Well done. Anthony Keene, for that cheap, absolutely. Let him retire a Dodger. There is that. But, I mean, at this point in time, like, he's already gone. You know, to have him come back, it just feels a little. Yeah, that moment has passed.
Exactly.
You have Kershaw. That's all you need to worry about when it comes to like legacy players now.
Yeah,
we just watched him, you know, drop Cody Bellinger for nothing. This is a team that ain't playing games no more.
There's no more legacy stuff. Justin Turner's still just sitting out there waiting for the Dodgers to call him.
Big one right there.
There's no legacy right now.
Literally waiting for them to call him.
That's what he said.
Little embarrassing there. IB Stroking. I'm a big Canely fan. Sorry. He'll always be a Dodger, but that ship has sailed. Well said. Almost perfectly well said, but right there, like 98 points.
Brett Hartley said, I think that would be bringing the Bland back together.
Shout out to our boy Doug McCain. He's just resting at home, getting over the COVID. Should be alive by next week. But he's still putting out good content on our YouTube channel because he is a monster. So make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, leave a like, tell your grandmother to watch Doug. It'll change her world.
D-Mac here.
D-Mac.
Got a quick question here. Carla Julian says, is Trey Turner definitely gone? I'd like to see the Dodgers keep him. What do you think? Is he definitely gone?
Yes.
I agree. He's gone. The Phillies just seem like the perfect landing spot.
The Phillies seemed like the perfect landing spot.
Since April.
Really, since April, yeah.
It's.
I mean, you know, I know some people have done the deep dives on Turner, and I agree with, you know, some of the thumbnails you see online. I don't remember the channel. One YouTube channel has a video where it's like, you know, buyer beware, do not sign this fraud, which, like, it's funny because all the numbers are there. Like, he is absolutely, without a doubt, one of the top players in baseball and maybe a top 3 shortstop in the game. But he has such a short window left to really be producing at that level.
Yeah.
Doug's talked about it a bunch. Just when you lose that speed, how important speed is in his game, it's not going to be a pretty sight when you're looking in at year 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever the hell kind of deal they're looking at this offseason. So, yeah, I feel he's very much gone.
Yeah, speed is something that declines pretty quickly when you're north of 30, and speed is, like you said, so important.
As he knows.
As I know. I'm not there yet, so.
My back is hurting just sitting here, gang.
But, yeah, and I mean, I'm trying to find the exact number. He had so many infield hits last year that I
think it was like 30 or something.
I know he led the league, and it was just when that goes away, he loses a lot of that. And at some point, he's just a power hitting shortstop, and he's not even he had 21 home runs last year. So it's definitely I like Trey Turner in the Dodgers lineup. I thought it was a really nice 1, 2, 3, but I don't see him being the shortstop that returns. I think they're going to go a different route.
As we've already kind of talked around some of the other rumors and deals that have happened around the league, staying slightly out of the Dodgers or off the Dodgers or even kind of on the Dodgers, because this is a long time former future Dodger we're talking about here. Jose Abreu signs with the Houston Astros 3-year deal. They get a former MVP to fill the hole left by the pile of crap Yuli Gurriel. Good deal. That's a good deal for them.
Really good.
And if they find a way, if the Stros find a way to, because they're not signing. I feel very strongly they are not signing Verlander.
Yeah.
They feel confident about their youth movement in pitching,
and they have a lot of good ones.
If they find a way to bring in Wilson Contreras too, I mean that's just another team that just remains scary somehow.
I mean their top 6 has Altuve, Bregman, Pena, Tucker, Yordan Alvarez. Now you throw in Jose Abreu. I mean, good for them for making moves, but they stay
Must be
scary.
nice.
Yeah, it must be nice to have your win now team making win now moves.
All right. Well, they don't even have a GM because
Yeah, I know.
whatever.
Who even knows who's making that move?
Jim Crane just out there letting it eat.
Yeah, I'm sure Dusty Baker's helping out. I mean, who knows what they're doing, but it's working. So yeah, that's as far as competing with the Astros standpoint, that's a scary move, especially if he can really regain some of that form. Because Jose Abreu was really good a few years ago.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, again, former league MVP. He's somebody who could just hit. Great team leader type.
And he's going to be like in their 6th hole now. I mean, that's scary.
He's old. He's slow, but
he can hit.
So is Yuli, and
exactly.
he's a massive step up
he's
over.
Huge up. So that's hopefully the Dodgers,
But still,
follow in their footsteps.
F
make
them
a move.
Astros.
Yeah, we still hate them, but hopefully the Dodgers see that and say, hey, maybe we can make a move. Thank you.
This guy who gets it. Slightly delayed, but he gets it. You gotta. Otherwise, you just have to finger on the button the entire time.
Always be ready.
All right. So before we get out of here, we appreciate, of course, Mr. Noah Cameras filling in for the dearly departed Doug, who will be back next week. But you guys, I have to bring up something too. How many wardrobe changes did we have before the show? It was like 6 or 7 removals of the San Francisco sweater.
Noah was ultimate Hollywood today, guys. He was debating whether he should put it on, and I'm glad that he kept it on. Because Noah, stay true to yourself, man.
Yeah,
stay
I'm true to
yourself.
myself. I'm a Niner and Dodger fan. I know people don't like those, but I know there are also a lot of them because, like I said, the Rams weren't here when I was a fan. My dad's a Niner fan. I'm a Niner fan. We're huge.
Tell him, Noah.
We're huge Dodger fans. But yes, I did take this off and put it back on a few times. But I figured I'd stay true to myself. Everyone would already be mad that Doug isn't here, so I may as well just make them more mad.
And he's telling you.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Noah Cameras.
He's Noah Cameras, and he's telling you.
Oh wait,
don't. I'm your hype man, Noah.
Thank you, Cody.
Don't let the haters hate.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Exactly.
Fight on, go Trojans. Trojans are going to the college football playoff.
Keen says Niners Dodgers fans are deep. They run deep.
There are a lot of
people.
Them. I went to the Rams Niners game at SoFi this year. It was 70% Niner fans.
Yeah, that looked really bad.
I'm telling you, I think most Dodger fans are also Niner fans. They're not a lot. I went to the Rams Super Bowl parade. There was like 2,000 people there. There was nobody there.
You got Josh Gitt on your side too.
Thank you, Josh Gitt.
Dodgers and Niners fans. Swollen Sausage is in the house.
Thank you, James Hyman II. We got a lot of Niners Dodger fans. Today I'm representing you guys. I'm representing all you Niners
the viewer.
and Dodger fans.
How about them birds?
Let's go birds.
Go birds.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
The final thing before we head out of here, like we've already said, the winter meetings technically start this weekend on Sunday. The good stuff is going to be happening Monday through like Wednesday, probably Monday, Tuesday, a little bit on Sunday. Hell, you could even see things happening before then on Friday and Saturday. I'm going to put us both on the spot here. Let's each just pull 3 wild predictions out of our ass for what's going to happen at the winter meetings. I'm cheating. I've already said one. I do think Justin Verlander signs at these winter meetings. Not saying with which team, but I guess for the sake of fun, screw it. I'm going to say he's going to sign with the Dodgers.
Wow.
Why not?
Everyone,
it's
you
not
heard it
gonna
here
happen,
first.
but I'm throwing it into the ethos.
You heard. All right. My first one is one of the big 4 shortstops is going to sign.
Ooh,
I'm going to say Trey Turner. I don't know. I mean, you're putting me on the spot. I'm going to say one of the big 4 signs. I don't want to name who. That's going to be too much. So that'll be my first prediction. You want to bounce back?
Yeah, we're going to bounce back and forth.
Right, so that'll be my first one. One of the big
number
4.
2. You know, I'm going to say it. Now I'm going to save it. I'm not going to not save it. I'm not going to save it because I'm not going to remember it. My number 2, and this is really my biggest bold prediction. Andrew Friedman swings a deal at the winter meetings.
A trade or
a trade? Yeah, a trade.
We have a trade.
Yeah, we have a trade. It's going to happen. I'm not going to say who because I'm not going to go that far. But I know Andy loves trades.
He does like his trades.
That's his jam. That is his pocket right there. Trade Central. Maybe with a team in the Central. Maybe a trade that
Doug has anything to say about that?
That Doug put into the world before anybody else.
If Doug was here right now, you would be very happy with that prediction.
Oh yeah, he'd be yelling about it.
He would be yelling.
You know, I'd say I'm not gonna.
You were almost there. I felt like the sick Doug voice in there.
Yeah,
that was
honestly,
good.
that's exactly what he sounded like with the little nasally. I'm gonna say Cody Bellinger signs at the winter meetings.
Oh, perfect time. And Swelling Sausage too. It was the same time.
Me and Swelling. I'm gonna say he gets his deal, 1-year deal. Gonna get somewhere 12 to 15 million. I'm gonna say, and I don't know who it's gonna be with, but I think he's gonna sign at the winter meetings.
big money, big prizes. I don't know what my last one is.
Yeah.
I wanna. My brain immediately went to DeGrom.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's with the Dodgers. I just think people talk about Jacob DeGrom. Big, bold
Jacob DeGrom
predictions.
will be spoken about at the winter meetings. You heard it here first. You know what?
I think he signs. I'm gonna say it. I think he signs. I don't know if he signs with the Mets.
I don't think it's going to be the Mets. I think it might be the Rangers. I don't know.
I love this section. This feels like
we're just like talking out of our
This feels like
beep right now. There we go.
Thank you. Feels like what people usually do on these random shows.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I kind of like your trade one, but I'll go even more in depth. I feel like a starting pitcher is gonna get traded, and I think it might be Shane Bieber.
Oh man.
Or Pablo Lopez.
Oof.
I think one of those guys gets moved.
Breaking
in a huge deal, and that's as bold as I can get for a trade off-season winter meetings prediction. I mean, that's as bold as I could possibly get.
I love this. We're gonna be so wrong about all of these.
I bet you would go for 6. I genuinely think.
Yeah. Hey, how many do you? All right. So you probably heard most of what we said. You have 6. Well, how many? What's our batting average of our 6 predictions?
Also, let us know in the comments how you think we're gonna do on those.
So you said what? Verlander to LA, right? And then you said
DeGrom signs, Bellinger signs, Big 4 shortstops, one of the top 4 signs. Trade happens to the Dodgers. And then Pablo Lopez or Shane Bieber gets moved.
2 out of 6. 2 out of 6.
Which ones?
So batting 333. That's good. Solid.
That's an all. That's a batting title. Shout out Jeff McNeil for taking it from Freddie.
Shortstop.
Okay, we got a shortstop.
I think shortstop, and then probably. That's a tough one. And a trade. Shortstop in the trade. I think those are pretty doable for sure.
Oh, those seem like the most likely.
A lot of things are going to happen at these winter meetings. They're
going to be fun
for sure. You think the Angels are going to do anything?
If you want to know what the Angels are going to do, head over to halostoday.com. You can do it the same. The halostoday.com. Also go to DodgersNation.com for more Dodgers stuff.
Yes, more Dodger stuff. Thank you.
But if you're looking for the Angel stuff, Halos Today.
Brian asked earlier, what about Judge? I think Judge is a January deal somewhere. I don't know where, but I feel like he's going to milk the process.
I think Judge should take his time on a deal. The money is for sure going to be there, and he's obviously going to be one of the bigger dominoes to fall. But yeah, I don't see him signing next week, but I do not think he's going to sign with the Dodgers. I don't feel Judge coming. If that was also on the table for a question, I definitely don't see Judge being the one that signs with the Dodgers.
Speaking of big dominoes, any news on Kevin Pillar?
Kevin Pillar, bro?
Kevin.
Check out that on the round table on Friday. Resign Kevin Pillar.
Oh, God.
Let me just clarify, Anthony. I'm not an Angels fan. I just write for them.
Yeah. We just make him write about it.
Just to make that clear. Yeah. I'm not an Angels fan.
Yeah. Big time Astros now.
No. Go Dodgers.
Let's get into a few of your guys' predictions here. Carnivorous Lunar Activity predicts hello Dodger Nation.
That's a good prediction.
Anthony Keene, I draw the line at Angels Talk. That's as good. Is that the one you said?
Well, I'm saying I'm not an Angels fan.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's really an Angels fan.
Yeah.
You just kind of end up there.
Yeah.
Swollen Saucer says Trey needs to come back. He's pretty solid. I mean, you're not going to go wrong if you re-sign him. I just think you're gonna regret it in the long run for sure. Look at what the Angels did with Albert Pujols. Yeah. Carl predicts Bellinger's going to sign with Colorado and hit 20+ bombs. Rebecca DeGrom to LA. Yes.
We got Wilfredo Cordova said Judge will return to the Yankees. Definitely a solid prediction, very likely. But also it sounds like the Giants are in the mix and they won't be underbid. Is that what that quote was?
They will not be underbid.
Underbid.
Because they're smart with the words.
Mm-hmm. They know what they're doing over there in San Francisco.
Josh gets a Senga. I think they find a way to get Kodai and Blue. No draft pick attached. That is big.
I like that prediction.
Makes too much sense not to get him. I agree. But I don't know what the team is doing this offseason. I don't think they know quite what they want to do yet.
I don't think they expected to have this long of an offseason. It's like, wait a minute. Why are we not playing in November? Anthony Keene, I want to see the Giants overpay for Judge and ruin their long-term future.
Underpay.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that Judge contract is not going to age very well, especially if it's in the 8 to 10 year range. And I think That's why I don't want the Dodgers to do it. And I do think I think for a few years the Giants would be very happy, but I think towards the back end of it, I agree that contract's not going to look very good.
All this and more next week, and you guys could talk crap about us. Oh, I guess we can't. Not in the next episode, which is supposed to be episode 300, but also that doesn't. It's sort of 300, but it's also sort of not. I don't really know what it is, but we'll have a party next week, and we'll see what's going on in the winter meetings. We'll live stream the winter meetings because we live stream every Monday. That's just what we do. But guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you to Noah for pinch hitting for Doug, who's on the IL right now, the COVID IL. Cody, as always, thank you for running the board. Prim and proper and perfectly timed on all the buttons at all the times. Find us on the internet at DodgersNation.com. Subscribe to Blue Heaven on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Pandora, every podcast available free. We are there. Go there. Hit like a 98-star review. Leave a rating. Leave a review. Tell us how great Doug is, because we like Doug. It's Doug's channel now. We love
him.
Yeah,
we miss Doug.
We miss you, Doug. It was a very quiet day in the office.
It was really quiet
without
in the office.
Doug. Sort of was able to get work done.
Yeah.
Subscribe to us for more Doug on YouTube, youtube.com/DougYoursNationTV. Hit the bell, leave a like, tell grandma, tell grandpa if he's still around, tell him we love him as well. Subscribe or find us at Dodgers Nation on Twitter and Instagram. We have a Facebook group. We have a Facebook page. I have a Twitter and Instagram. That's Real FRG. That is at Noah Camrus on Twitter. Just follow him there. Follow him home from the office after the show. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for your comments. Thank you for your questions. We wouldn't do this if you guys weren't here, because then it would just be weird and boring. So see you guys next Monday. Okay, bye.